Hello, hello. I'm so sorry that I am a little bit late. Y'all, I had some technical difficulties because my son tried to plug up an Ethernet cable and it slowed my internet down because you want to play a video game. Absolutely not. What are you doing? Like, get off the thing. You don't even pay for the internet bill. So, no. And then my dog wanna be wildly constipated right before the thing, so I had to like perform some mild anal surgery. It was crazy for a second. So I'm here. I made it. Um, Today is going to be cool. It is going to be candid. Let me take some of this wine because me hopping up here, I didn't want to cancel it because I just don't like to when I say I'm gonna do something and I don't do it. But I'm feeling a little better now that I got some wind. So, I'm Tanisha Laban, holistic life coach, focused on relationship, metaphysician, specializes in feminine energy, especially the feminine and masculine dynamic. Okay. Um, it's a passion of mine to help women to reclaim and reignite their divine femininity, um, and also just to this is a safe space for us to be able to navigate through the masculine men that we do have or would desire or like to attract. That's ultimately um what it all boils down to. Okay, so if you guys are not on if you're on Facebook, please just if you say hello, make sure you announce yourself. And if you are in YouTube, I will already see who you are. Okay. So tonight we're going to be talking about breakups and makeups. Yeah. Yeah. I actually had a whole nother topic picked out, had pondered on it, worked on it, did some notes on it. And then all of a sudden, 2 days ago, I was in the bath. This video was actually supposed to be yesterday. I just didn't do it because I got caught up with the kids and stuff. But I was in the bathtub, and all of a sudden, this topic came to me. Like, there are a lot of people out here that struggle with wanting to know, or should they double back? Should they get back? Should they go back to a previous relationship? So I wanted to talk about that, and I'm pretty sure that somebody out there needs to hear this. Okay. So I really like when the thought came to me when I was in the bath, it came so strong that I was like, I got to talk about this because this is what people want and need to hear. Breakups and makeups, it happens all the time, right? All right. So, y'all, we are going to get into it because it's no secret that relationships don't always work out, people. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all get in relationships, they don't all work out. Sometimes we break up, sometimes we're just not compatible. It really just depends. And it's usually the reasons for why we break up is different for different people. Some people are just not equally yoked spiritually, mentally, sexually. They're just not equally yoked. And that's normally why things don't work out. But let me just start off with saying this. I do have a lot of notes today, and I kind of want to methodically give it to you today. But let me start off with saying this because I got to build up to the breakups and makeups. Um, Most women are attracted to men for the wrong reasons, okay? And they break up with men for the wrong reasons. So, whether he's blazing or not, whether he has big muscles, whether he's good looking, whether he has a little bit of money, that's all good. And it can all be a factor, but it's all essentially irrelevant when it comes to choosing a mate. That's why men are attracted to beauty, because the reality of it is men don't really need much. I was talking to my husband the other day, and we were talking about relationships. Don't know why. It'll probably come to me in the middle of the stream. But we were talking about relationships, and he was like, men are not hard to please. It's women that have these laundry lists of things that guys have to check off. Men only want a couple things. And if you could do that, the odds of us breaking up with you are kind of slim to none. So, we have these laundry lists of things that we want to see in a man. And essentially, a lot of them are actually irrelevant. All right. Like, what we need to do as women, even if we're not initially attracted to the man, like, we have to have some level of attraction. But that's more of a masculine tendency to look at something and be attracted to it. For women, our attraction builds. That's why a woman can hang out with a guy and all of a sudden he becomes so cute to her. And the reason why is because he's nice to her. He shows her affection. He makes her feel special when she's around him. So all of a sudden the man, and she was like, ooh, he don't even look that good. Now all of a sudden she's like, well, I don't know, he kind of cute. And that's because essentially he grew on her. Because women, our attraction builds. Men's attraction is right away, and women's attraction builds over time. So a lot of times we'll look at a guy and be like, oh my God, he's so fine. And it's usually that's the guy we're not even supposed to have. We're not even supposed to be with. All right. So essentially, what we need to be looking for is, can this man provide? Can this man protect? And when I say provide, I know everybody be like, oh my God, I can pay my own bills. I'm not necessarily talking about money. Can he provide emotional stability, um, mental fortitude for the family? Is he a leader? Can he make decisions, or does he get emotional? Does he hem and haw back and forth, like basically like, I don't know what I need to do, I don't know what I should be doing? A man at heart is usually a leader. I'm sorry, my beads, I don't want my beads to be popping and getting caught in my clothes. But a man is usually a leader. And you want to know that he's able to lead the family. Okay. When he's doing these things like leading, providing, protecting, making decisions for the family, it's going to lead to what you need to feel as a woman anyway. Once you feel provided for, protected, emotionally secure in a relationship, that's really all we need to feel anyway. Okay. So here's the thing: if you lead with the way a man makes you feel, it will impact your discernment on whether this man is a good leader or not. So, as women, we should be looking at, like, can this man lead? Is he good with A, B, C, and D? Provision, protection, and leading a family. If he can lead a family, he can lead a corporation. If he can lead a corporation, he can lead a family. So, we need to be looking at whether this man can lead or not, right? But a lot of times, we as women, we will go off how a man makes us feel and then negate that he has the ability to provide and to protect and to secure us. See, a lot of times, good leaders and good husbands don't always necessarily make you feel good. Now, I know that sounds harsh, like, oh, well, I don't want no husband that's not going to be. I'm not talking about that. All I'm saying is that sometimes their delivery, their approach to things, how they say things, their thought process, none of those things will always make you necessarily feel gushy inside. Um, those lovey, I was talking to my brother because I was going to say those lovey dovey feelings. Um, so, how do I explain this? Men provide, protect, secure, build, develop. Those men that are doing those things are usually not as tactful and as affectionate and emotional as they can be. If you desire affection and love and that lovey-doveyness that all women say that they want, you have to be the woman that draws that out of him. And normally our behavior is something that doesn't draw that out of him. So you can have a man that's good at all of those things, and you're like, well, he's not lovey dovey, he's not this, he's not that. If he's not this, he's not that, normally check your behavior and see if that is magnetizing that type of behavior from him. Because a lot of times when guys that are that strong mentally, emotionally, and their masculinity, they don't get those oh she's so cute those feelings unless you are they view you like that. Like, and the only reason they'll view you like that is if you exhibit softness. If you exhibit any form of hardness, they don't think you're cute, and they're not going to be all over you. As a matter of fact, you repulse them. So yeah, they're going to do what they need to do because they committed to doing it, but you're not going to get the extras that you necessarily need as a woman until you tone down and soften up. Okay? So ask yourself, why we break up with men. Like, do you break up with him because he's not as affectionate as he should be? He doesn't show public displays of affection. He's not all over you. He doesn't post you on his page so you feel like you're a secret. Um, he doesn't like hanging out as much as you do. Um, all of these are superficial reasons to break up with a man, because all of these things he can learn to do or sacrifice to do over time. Like, he can sacrifice and start going out a little bit more. And a lot of times as men get older and they get more deeper into the relationship, they do start to be more affectionate. They still might not be like the public display of affection type of guy, but they still they soften up a little bit. Like, my husband's not a public display of affection kind of guy, because when we're out, in his mind, he's security, and security doesn't have fun. The only time he loosens up is if we're in a controlled environment, meaning it is a family party and we know who all gonna be there. It's a cousin's party, my party, his party. We know who's gonna be there. But let's say we're out and it's a public place, a public forum. We're at Lennon's for karaoke. He'll have fun, but he is going to be more guarded. The softness is not going to come out as much because he's on guard. He's not thinking about kissing all over me. He's thinking about who's coming in that door and who do I have to protect tonight. Somebody looks sketchy, I'm on it. Somebody saying something, I'm on it. A voice raises, he's on it. So now that I understand that, I'm not offended when we're out. Hey, Tiff, when we're out and he's not as all over me. Now, if we're at a party where it's a controlled environment, he's all over me because he's not security. He's let loose, it's family around, he's chilling. But if we are out and we are in a public place, oh, he's going to always be on guard. But I have learned to appreciate that and not to detest it. More to say. So those are all superficial reasons to break up with somebody, all right? Like, and honestly, you have to attract the lovey-doveyness from a masculine man. I don't know if you guys notice this, but really masculine men are soft with their daughters. They could be so like hard with everybody else, and when it's their daughter, they're like, "Oh, baby, oh, it's okay, it's okay. No, you could go. No, you could do that." Essentially, it is because his daughter is respectful, loving, submissive, and so he views her soft. She not talking back, so he views her as loving and cute. So if you are always combative and doing certain things, he's never gonna view you as that oh, she's so cute, I just love my wife. He's not gonna you a guy like he is. You run your mouth like he do. You talk like he do. Now, yeah, y'all might have sexual chemistry, but the lovey dovey where he just is like, I can't even explain the word, but because my husband does it to me all the time, and I'm like, oh, like my cousins do it to me. Like, my boy cousins, they'll kiss our face and they'll be like, like they think you're so cute. But when you are combative and argumentative and gotta have the last word, it doesn't draw that type of behavior out of a man, not a masculine one. Okay. So The questions we will be speaking to here tonight, with some nuggets in between, is should you let him go completely? Should you go back? Why you would go back versus why you would not go back, okay? And what happens once you go back? Like what are we supposed to be doing now? All right? So let me just start off with this. It is no secret, y'all, that me and my husband have been separated 3 times. Okay? Um yes, 3 times. You've heard it here first. I know there's probably some rumors. 3 times. I know the times, I know the dates, and I know what happened in between because they were times of a lot of evolution that I had to go through, and he had to go through as well. So I remember the times and the dates, all right? But let me tell y'all, separations don't necessarily scare me because I had parents who literally were married for over 40 years and they made it all the way up into the day that she took her last breath. And they were still in love up until the day she took her last breath. See, it's one thing to say you've been married for 40 years, but y'all can't stand each other and you're only together because it's cheaper to keep her. It doesn't make sense to have 2 houses with 2 rents. So now y'all live together, but you're like ships passing in the night. You got your life, they got their life. No, my parents didn't have that. So I'm not afraid of separations because my parents separated more than once, actually. But you know what? I was talking to my sister the other day and I was like, you know, the difference between this generation and that one is everybody didn't know your business. They didn't go to Facebook every 5 minutes saying what was going on in their relationship. And they didn't go to friends like that. And they definitely didn't talk to each other's families about their separations. So as far as everybody outside looking in, hey, outside of everybody looking in, nobody knew what my parents was going through. Another thing about social media, you have nothing to compare yourself to. So I was talking to my sister again because you know I only got about 4 people in my circle, y'all. It's gonna be my husband, my father, my sister, my brother, my sister-in-law. Okay, that's about all I talk to on a regular basis. So my sister always says, "Oh, you never on Instagram. You hate Instagram." Absolutely right. You want to know why I hate Instagram? Because it is a lie. It is a facade. It is a It's not real, people. There's a reason I'm on Facebook because Facebook is words and you can always discern through words. But Instagram, as of late, they got reels and videos now, but Instagram was only pictures at first. And guess what? Pictures are never real. Pictures, you take 30 takes before you get that perfect angle, that perfect picture, that perfect lighting, and then you post the world and say, look at my life. It's not real. And I don't like looking at things that are not real. And here we are as regular laymen watching other people's lives and then comparing our life to theirs. And then saying, oh, well, my husband doesn't do that for me. You're watching a girl on a cruise. You're watching somebody get flowed out. You're watching, somebody on their date. You're looking at people's plates. You're looking at them in Bali and Fiji and the Maldives and Jamaica. And then you're like, wait, I didn't go. So now you start looking at your person like, why we ain't in Jamaica? Why we haven't gone on vacation in a couple years? Why we haven't? So that's why their relationships made it and ours don't. Because we're always comparing them to something bigger and better that's not real anyway. Y'all miss me with it. Miss me with it. I'm never on Instagram unless I want to go see an ad or I want my hair and nails done because the businesses are up there and that's what I'm looking for. All right. So breaking up does not necessarily mean the end of your relationship. My husband and I were broken up for 3 years, y'all. Yep, I'll say it again. 3 entire years. I had no idea whatsoever that man was coming back. But I'm going to get into it. I'm going to tell y'all because you know what? I'm tired of people thinking they have the tea to my life when I can just give the tea. I'm not afraid of my story. My story is my testimony. My story is the very catalyst that I need to help others. When I was younger, I got married at 19 years old, my first marriage. I always knew then that my call was going to be life coaching and helping people with relationships. I just thought it was going to be with him. So that was kind of what we worked toward, because he kind of, I don't know, he didn't really have much purpose. Probably why we're not married now, and we're going to get into that too. But I knew that that was my purpose. I knew that that was something I wanted to do. And I also knew that when you want to do something, you got to go through the tests and trials to be able to tell somebody else about it. Because guess what? If you never went through it, how can you help somebody else get through it? Because it's one thing to talk about it because you read it in a book, and it's another thing to talk about it because you lived it. So I always knew anytime me and my husband went through anything, even when we go through things now and we pass through it, I say, oh, babe, guess what? We're going to be able to help somebody now. It's all positive to me. Nothing is negative unless you make it negative. Okay. So let me just tell y'all how many people I know that rekindled and got back together, and that thing is even stronger and better now than it was ever before. So I have an aunt and uncle who lived down south, right? They were older. They were actually my father's people. They were divorced for almost 10 years, lived in different states, reconnected, and actually got remarried and are still remarried now to this day. And they old as hell. They like old as dirt, honestly. Been married for forever again. I have a cousin who divorced her husband. They were divorced for a couple years, and then they got remarried. And then when my mother asked her, because my mom and dad were relationship coaches, and my mother said, "Why did you remarry him?" And she said, "You know what? The things that used to get on my nerves about him, I realized they weren't even that deep, and it really doesn't even get on my nerves anymore." Like, people grow, people evolve. That's life. It's just how it goes. I have an aunt and uncle who got divorced a few years ago once their kids went to college. Um, and at this point, we ever barely see them apart. He's either at her house all the time or she's at his. What are y'all doing? What's going on here? Y'all kids is grown. So we can't say it's because of the kids and you want to have a relationship with the kids. The kids is grown and got families of their own. And now they're always together. And my very own sister got divorced and then got remarried to the same guy a year later, if that. So, separations don't scare me. Breakups don't scare me. What scares me is the lack of work that happens while you're broken up. That's the part that should be scary. Okay? So let's get into some tea, y'all. Not tea about my life. We're gonna get into some information, but so breakups happen, y'all. It's not the end of the world. But let's start off with this. As a woman of value, y'all, this is a secret. As a woman of value, don't ever trip about a man leaving you. And this is not a cocky thing. Let me tell you why. Um, just don't trip. Because if you are a true woman of value and you were valuable in that man's life, he's not gonna let you get that far. He really isn't. And the longer he waits, it's more pride than anything else. It's just he's a little embarrassed. He doesn't know how you feel about getting back with him. But I promise you this, if you are a woman of value, you will never have to worry about that man leaving you. But I'm going to tell you why in a little bit. I just got to give y'all a little bit more groundwork, okay? And another thing, as a woman, if you leave a man, you need to mean it, okay? Men do not respect women who hem and haw. You yell, you argue, get out my house, get out my house. You're not about to talk to me. Like, get out. We over. I don't want to see you no more. I don't want to talk to you no more. And then 3 days later, you calling him like, babe, I miss you. Men don't respect that. And they'll never respect whatever your issue was with you acting like that. Next thing you calling the phone, telling them you miss them. Next thing you sending them racy pictures to get them to come on over. Because you know how we do. All we got to do is send a little picture. And that picture speaks 1,000 words depending on the picture you send. Okay? So, pretending you calling about something else. You just like, I'm calling about this. No, no, no. Man, listen, just stop, because men can see through your games. Y'all, we as women, we play ourselves way too much. It is so sad. I be watching it. I be like, y'all, it's like trying to hide. You trying to be a ghost, but they can see your feet. Like they like, your feet. I can see you. They We're not really hiding from them. You want to know why? Because men can see through our games, and they definitely can see through our patterns because they are built to see and recognize patterns. That's a man's gift. So if you're always doing the same thing, like you break up and then you call them again in 2 days, you break up and then you call them, they're wired to see that. Whether it was you or his job or anybody else, they're wired to see, recognize, and pick up on patterns. Like, so they'll never respect it when you really say, yo, I'm over this. I'm done with this. As my father would say, you can't sell wolf tickets. Like, you got to chill. Another thing as a secret, just rule of thumb, never break up when you're mad. That breakup doesn't count. If you're yelling, arguing back and forth, and you break up in the middle of that, the energy between the two of y'all is still too kinetic. So the breakup is not going to be real. The breakup is only real when you are calm, collected, you have thought about it, and you say, listen, here's the thing. This is no longer working for me. I love you still. I wish you the best. Maybe we can reconnect in the future, but as of right now, I can't do this. That is more respectable than you throwing stuff, throwing a tantrum, telling him to get out, and you never want to see him again. Ladies, if we want to be taken seriously, we have to act in serious ways and stop being so crazy and emotional. I don't know what book said this because we're women, that our femininity is hinged on us being emotional, and we're always using the word that we're women and we're emotional as excuses to be emotionally deregulated. Just because you're emotional doesn't mean you can't take control over your emotions. Like, it is not connected to how crazy you can act. Outside influence is one of the biggest silent killers. Seeking validation for toxic behavior from biased outsiders can quickly make small disagreements irreparable. Absolutely right. Because now all you do is get an audience. Because all you have to do is be like, yeah, but even if I guarantee you, if I was to put this on Facebook or if I was to put this on Instagram, I guarantee you everybody would agree with me. I don't give a damn who agrees with you. They're not in this relationship. Me and you are. That's crazy. Tiff, what are you sending me in the middle of my thing? Crazy. All right. So here's the thing. As women, let me give y'all another tip. We know what's going on out here. We know how most women especially, are moving, right? Women who still have connections to other men, women who have been hurt and bringing trauma to new relationships, women who are so independent they don't have space for a man, women who are afraid of commitment now, women who don't know how to let men lead. All right, that's what's going on out here. That's what's happening, y'all. Just in case you didn't know, city girl culture, bunch of foolery going on. That's what's happening. Women out here that's like, I don't need this. I don't gotta put up with this. I don't gotta deal with this. Let me say this. I don't know where this is coming from. Maybe my dog getting sick is good for this, but let me say this. Once again, we got to stop lying to ourselves. We cannot be running north and south at the same time. Women will claim that we are so independent and we don't need a man. So in essence, are you really saying, because I'm a bottom liner, you want to die alone? Because that's essentially what you're saying. When you say I'm independent and I don't need a man for anything, you're either going to die alone or you're going to be a millionaire. And even if you're a millionaire, you still got to pay hired help, men, to do the things that you need done. But then who you going to have for your companionship? Because you can't really pay for that. Not from a real man. So we're always saying things and then doubling back on it. It doesn't make sense to me. Men are the choosers. It doesn't matter how much we like a guy, how much we think he's handsome, how much we want to go after him. If he don't like us back, there's nothing we can do about it, y'all. He gotta go. He gotta keep moving and go on about his life. I have seen my husband and be like, oh, he's so blazing. Oh my God, he just does something to me. And then I try to talk to him and he's just not interested. Then what? I can't make him like me. So at this point, I gotta move on to the next. So women only get to choose the men that choose them. It doesn't even make sense to me. Like, You only get to choose the man that chooses you. Now, there are things you could do to up your chances. Look good, smell good, be feminine, be soft, be cooperative, be collaborative. Hey, a little cocktail, put you a little higher up on the totem pole, but there's essentially nothing we can do about it. And if the man that we do want has certain requirements, we have one choice: get in line or get ghost, because he can have any other woman here. So if you're the man I want and this is what he requires, then I need to be doing that. If that's what I'm saying I want, no different than a job. If I want this job, I got to have the credentials to get the job. I mean, y'all, am I the only one that thinks this stuff is like 1 + 1 = 2? I don't know. Just, let me know. So as women, how do we become a woman of value to a man? We only got two ways, y'all. Two ways. One, you offer what other women don't. That's number one. And two, you offer him something that he cannot get on his own. That's it. You offer what other women don't. Meaning there's a bunch of women out here that all offer the same thing. And you're different. Or two, men don't want to be with another man. So you offer him what he cannot get on his own, which is femininity and softness. That's it. Those are the only ways you could be of value to a man. Nothing else makes you valuable, because most men, worth their weight in salt, don't care how much money you bring to the table. Now, if you're in a relationship and he goes through a hard spot, yeah, fine. Yeah, I got you. We in this together. But if you're leading with your accolades and your money, turn off to most men. But you guys know this. You know how I feel about this. All right, so let me say this. Breakups always happen in phases, right? So for the woman, she's normally heartbroken most right away. She is sad. She's despondent. She is crying. She's an emotional mess. She's a wreck inside and out. She's not taking care of herself. She doesn't care about bathing. She's probably losing weight because she's not eating. Women are heartbroken right away. Our heart feels like it is ripped out of our chest, and we are like, oh my God, we cannot even like recalibrate from this, right? She gives herself time to heal, though. Most women do not just jump right into another relationship as soon as they're done with one, just because their heart really can't take it. Their heart is really still connected and attached to what they were with, because that's our nature. But at the same time, there's guys that be hopping in trying to talk to you, because it's always a guy waiting to be a shoulder to cry on and a dick to ride on. Oh my God, never mind. I'm sorry. Now they're gonna probably like have all this stuff in my comments later. But guys is always waiting for the opening for when the guy you was with messed up. But she's usually not even in a space to go through that. She's not even in a space to deal with it. And if she do, it's really to try to get over you. That's the only reason. There's no real other reason, because our heart can't disconnect and reconnect to somebody else that quickly. We're just not wired like that, right? So for the man, though, this looks very different, because he usually doesn't take time to heal. Men don't take time to heal, read self-help books. They just be like, yo, on to the next. They will have a new girl by dinner time, because all the doof heads that's been in his inbox waiting for him to break up with you are going to be right there to say, oh, no, we can go out for a drink, because they would do it even if you was around. Some women just don't care. So they don't really usually take that time. They could, it could be somebody they meet at the bar that doesn't need to have any connection. Men are able to do that. Somebody that's been in their inbox or they've been in theirs, not necessarily flirting or cheating, but you know how like you could post a story and somebody be like, oh, handsome. You post a story, oh, good gym workout. They're just making themselves relevant to the person. Like, stop. We all know what's going on out here. Tiff, I don't know why you're laughing, because it's so true. But we all know what's going on out here. It's the girl in the inbox. Hey, big head, look at them muscles. You post a story of you at the gym. Oh, that sweat looks sweaty. So this is the same girl that the moment he breaks up with you is right around the corner waiting for him. Okay. So men can move on fairly quickly in the beginning, because all women look and feel good to him because they're new. He been dealing with some wild stuff with you, some foolishness. Obviously, if you guys broke up, you were in a negative space during that time. There wasn't much goodness going on. So when he gets out there, everything that's new looks good and shiny. It's like going to a new car lot. Like, let me try this car, let me try that car, let me try this car, let me try that car. So the breakups look different, but whoa, y'all, things shift after some time. So let me tell you what happens. So a woman begins to heal. She begins to level herself back up. She might change her hair color, cut all her hair off, start feeling herself again. But what you do not want to do as a man, I'm going to give some male advice here. Do not ever give that woman time to recalibrate her life without you. Because once she does that, it will be very hard for her to make space for you again. And that's what happened with my husband and I. He was gone for too long, 3 years. So my whole life recalibrated. When he tried to come back, I had a whole life going in another direction. Now you're trying to pull me back. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And it just felt like, and we went through that phase, which was why that was the second breakup of the struggle for power. I was a little masculine because I had been out in these streets by myself. He was used to me being feminine. So he like, what is this? I don't even know this person. You don't even act like this. That's not how you are. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but you don't get to come around and boss me around like this when you ain't been around in 3 years. So we were always having conflict because of the space and the time that he gave me to recalibrate my life again. Not to mention he was dating somebody else. Like, you was in a whole relationship for like 2 years. If you don't get out of here, where that big hair girl at? Because you trying to go back to her, or because now I'm confused. Now I'm like, what are you doing here? I thought we were only reconnecting for our kid. I didn't know you was trying to come back and reconnect with this. What you doing? Let me stop because I'm telling too much. But he don't be caring. He really don't. So now the woman has recalibrated her life, or not yet, but don't give her that time to do so. But she feels good about herself, back in business, back now, y'all. It's been a few months. She's recalibrated herself. But a few months later, he's sick to his stomach. Because now he done got out here and he realized ain't nothing out here but city girl culture, mentality, what's that song that they be singing? City girl culture. That's what's going on. Wigs, lashes, and lies. She still got connections to other dude. He thinking he doing something. And old boy from her past is still showing up. Then her kid's father, she might still got a connection to him. He all of a sudden popping back up around because he see you around. She still may be for the streets, no femininity, not knowing the rules to the game or him because she don't understand him. He's new. She's not trying to understand him. She's been single too long. So what's going on out here is it's not lit. Wanting too much too fast. Yada, yada, yada. Y'all know how the game go. We all know how it goes, okay? So within 3 months, about 90 days, y'all. Now this is free, okay? I'm not charging for this one. So I know Steve Harvey got that stupid 90-day rule, but I don't go by books and rules like that. I go by the laws of energy, okay? Universal laws, spiritual laws, and the laws of energy. All right? So within 3 months, approximately 90 days, because of the laws of energy, too deep to kind of get into now, but all it means is essentially after 90 days, it's always revealed whether what situation you are in is true or false. So if you left somebody, especially if it was the man that left the woman or it was a breakup, within 90 days, if that energy of that breakup is false, one of y'all want to get back together after 90 days, if not both of y'all. And if you haven't reconnected after 90 days, it's because you've let pride and ego get in the way and you haven't released your heart and vulnerability enough to say, this is really what I want. What do I need to do to get this? Me and my husband, the one thing that I love about us is that we have the hard conversations that everybody else is scared to have. We don't care about getting raw with one another in order to get further in our situation. My mother taught me this a very long time ago. Sometimes you have to enter into conflict to bring about true peace. And I'll never forget that, because doesn't mean we have to argue, no, but sometimes it means we have to have the hard conversations to really get back to smooth ground. There got to be some rawness, some realness that comes out. Like, okay, so what about old girl? What you doing about her? All right, so let me tell you what it was. Boom, boom, boom. Old girl has some money. You know what I mean? She was the girl that got away. I always wanted to try it. I tried it. It didn't work out for me. But what I really want right now is you. So how are we trying to do this? What I got to do to get you back? Oh wait, let me hold on. Where my pen and pad at so I can tell you all the stuff you got to do? But it was a real conversation. It wasn't no mouth mincing. It was kind of like, what do I got to do to get this back? What do I got to do? You just tell me, and I'll be willing to do it. That's it. All right. So 90 days, law of energy. Don't let pride and ego get in the way of you getting your person back. Because if you want your person back, go get them back. And don't let see what pride and ego does is it protects you from being hurt. So you go into a conversation with all of this armor on, and you're in a defensive and an offensive position. When in reality, you should go in naked. Sometimes even legitimately naked. I mean, I don't know. They say conversations are easier to have when you don't have clothes on because you can't be covered. You're raw. Okay? So don't let pride and ego get you in the way after that 90-day rule, right? So, men are usually sick by this time because they've been dealing with the scrub of dubs. You know what I'm saying? And by 3 months, they trying to inch their way back in. So I'm here to tell you as a woman, if a man wants to go, you got to let him go. That's the most feminine position you can take when it comes to a breakup. Don't be keying cars. Don't be showing up. Don't be acting up. Don't be doing all this craziness. Because guess what? If you ever want him back, you have just killed your chances by acting crazy. Never kill your chances for reconciliation by being emotionally deregulated. All right. The most feminine position you can take if a man wants to leave is to let him go. All right. Because they quickly find out what it's not like you out there when they get out there. That's only if you was a woman of value. Because if you was annoying and argumentative and controlling, um, this probably won't work for you. So you should probably go on another live, okay? Because this one ain't the one. You got to go through the other classes first, baby girl, and then come on to this one. The softness is a cheat code. The baddest Instagram chick in the world can't compete with a woman that consistently proves that she's a soft place to land. Absolutely. Listen, I be trying to tell him. I'm glad it's another man in here saying it because it don't make me sound crazy because everybody's saying, I'm not a pick me because I've already been picked, but at day's end, you know, what do they call it? They call it male something when you're always on the male side. I'm not always on the male side. I'm on the side of right. I'm on the side of principles. That's it, y'all. So when every time my husband tried to leave me, I always be like, okay, well, I would be sad and I'd be like, well, good luck out there. I really wish you the best. And I meant it. But sir, I wish you the best because I know what's going on out here. All us women know because we all hear the same conversations. We all see the same stuff. There's nothing much going on out here, y'all. You're going to get out here and get hurt just like the rest of them because these women out here are savages. All right? Like I said, it only works for the feminine counterparts and masculine men. But what happens when you a dime a dozen chick? How about that? These are the ones that really act crazy most of the time because there's no reason to act crazy when you feel like you have value. I never had to act crazy because in my mind, I always felt like he'll be back because he's not going to find me again. I can say, y'all, without fear of any type of contradiction right now, that my husband can break up with me tomorrow and he'll be back. Y'all, hold on. Let me see if I can get. I think I got to plug my other computer up. Well, there, I got it. He'll be back. Because you want to know why? You're not going to find this out here again. No, you're not. You're not going to find a woman that cares about her looks, doesn't sleep in bonnets, keeps her weight where it's supposed to be, submissive, cooperative, collaborative, respectful, let you lead, non-argumentative. Sir, you got it. You can have it. Where you going to find that at? Nowhere. But if you are a dime a dozen chick, meaning you move the same, you all move the same, you all talk the same, you all brag the same, you all got that stinky, crunchy ass weave just crunchy, you laying on his chest, and he like, because it stinks like burnt hair and oodles and noodles. You just trying to flat iron it every day to blend your leave out with the weave. When your leave out mad curly and the weave mad straight, now you got to burn your hair every day to make it blend in. Then you're going to lay that burnt ass hair on his chest. So now his nose smells nothing but burnt hair when you're laying on him. Good luck. He love you though, so he'll probably stay until you start acting up. But mm-mm. You got a big ass wig on, looking crazy. What's happening? The wigs are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I, get a wig that fits your head. One, get a wig that fits your face. Two, get a wig that looks like it could be your hair. Three, it's really not that many rules to the wig game. Got big old wig on and big ass lashes, wigs, and lies. Your mouth big, you talk too much, you talk back, you got a slick mouth, you're mad controlling, you're bossy. Ma'am, he can find you anywhere. As a matter of fact, he can find better than you somewhere. So I would act crazy if he left too, because I would be scared that he wasn't coming back. Because you could find that anywhere. That that's all out here. That's what's going on out here. So if that's you, sis, change that. Because he can find that mouthiness anywhere. He can find that mouth in Instagram. He can find that mouth at the bar. He can find you anywhere. He can go under a rock and find you. Let me stop. All right. So femininity lets things go how they flow. Okay. It doesn't mean you don't put forth work, but you definitely mirror the man. Y'all know I believe in that. You got to mirror the man. Whatever effort he shows, you reciprocate and you show that same amount of effort right back. But you both have to put forth effort. Relationships always go left when one party feels like they're doing the other person a favor or that they're lucky to have them. See, that's when you can't. Tip, it's not the wine. I still got mad wine. I had like 2 sips. I think I was just stressed about Zoe. But no, tonight I really just want to help people. Like I do, because people be wondering why people can get back with people and why others don't. And I'm trying to give the keys for why some people will reconcile and others will not. See, here's the thing with women. We always got a friend, a cousin, a sister's cousin's best friend's cousin that it happened for. And we think because it happened for them, it'll happen for us. But no, they were the exception because they did the work required to get it. You don't get to just get stuff in this life. But I'm gonna get to it. All right. So let's get into why people really break up, y'all. Okay. The most prevalent reason is really simple. You're not equally yoked spiritually, mentally, or sexually. You grow apart, meaning one party evolved and the other didn't essentially grow at all. So again, not equally yoked. One party doesn't love or value the things that the other party does, or one, if not both parties, don't feel loved and respected in their own ways. So a lot of people break up because they don't feel loved or they just don't feel respected in the relationship in general. Um, that's usually it. Nothing more, nothing less. But most people don't realize that in order to have a healthy, successful, functional relationship, that there is work and sacrifice that needs to be put in. And most people are not willing to put in the work. The same principles that apply to success in every other area of your life applies to relationships as well. In this life, we only get what we earn or deserve. Nothing more, nothing less. There's no exceptions to this rule. We all got to earn what we get. Let me tell y'all, there was a conversation that I had with somebody last week. And they said something, something, something. And my husband was like, they were asking questions about my mother. And my husband was like, well, she earned everything your father did for her. And the person was like, earn? What do you mean earn? And I said, well, everybody in his life has to earn what it is that they want. Like I had to earn getting my job and beating 20 other people out in an interview. I had to earn the position I got at work by having the correct credentials and the expertise and the professionalism to do it. I have to earn my students' respect every single day. Why is it that when it comes to relationships, people just feel like because you're cute, the relationship is supposed to work? Like, where are people getting these fairy tale like views about what a relationship is supposed to be? You have to earn everything in this life that you want. You want something, you need to work for it. You want something, you got to put in the due diligence to get it. You want something, you got to put in the work, time, effort, and sacrifice to get it. Otherwise, it's not coming to you. It's going to the person that's doing that. That's it. It's not coming for you, see? Sweetie, not you. It's not you. It's going to go to her. It's going to go to him. It's going to go to the people that are willing to put in the work to do it. And a lot of people think they get to just show up to the party and you get a ribbon. See, that's the problem with our world today in our society. We have been giving out 35th place ribbons for so long that everybody feels like they just get to show up and get a prize. No, you don't. There's a reason, no shade, that there's side chick culture. The reason why is because everybody's not fit to be a wife. That's why. Everybody can't make the cut. Everybody's not willing to do what it takes. So guess what they get to do? They get to lay down, they get to have some sex, they get to spread their legs, they get to have a guy come over a couple times a week, maybe, if that, a couple phone calls. That's all you're going to get. Because you're not willing to put in the work to get what it is that's required to be a committed girlfriend, a fiance, a wife, somebody that's consistently provided and protected. You got to work for that. You got to earn that. You got to deserve that. You can't just get it because you showed up. Oh, I showed up. So where's my grab bag? Where's my goodie bag? Not here. Not in this particular situation. You don't get that. All right. So there's a lot of people out here. Oh, I know, right? Every time my husband tries to leave me. No, I'm saying if my husband tries to leave me now, because he ain't going nowhere. But if he tries to leave me, good luck, sir. And I wish you the best. I do. I wish you the best out there. But at this point, I'm not gonna have to do that. But I might, if I have enough time, I'll tell y'all why later. I'll tell y'all why later. So everybody is not going to get to win the races. Everybody doesn't get the ribbons. You don't get the ribbons for showing up. You get the ribbons for doing what it takes to get it. I was a track star in high school, and I was not a track star because I just showed up to the field. I was a track star because every day after work, after school, I practiced. Every day after school, I lifted weights. Every day after school, I looked at my old time and tried to beat that old time with my new time. Every day I worked harder and I trained harder. Every single day. There was nobody willing to beat me more than I was willing to beat me. So at this point, I'm the same way as it is with anything in my life. If I want something, I know that it's going to take work, effort, sacrifice, and time to get it. And that's it. I would never be out here as a single woman thinking that I can just get with a man because I look cute tonight at the club when he meets me. And then that's supposed to hold me over for the next 15 years. We're just going to make it. We're going to be okay. That's delusional. That's a fairy tale. All right. So another thing about relationships that's very hard is that they're usually a mirror because they are here for our highest point of growth. They are not necessarily a place for our highest point of happiness. Growth hurts. Growth doesn't feel good. So if something is made and created for the highest point of growth in your life, it can't at the same time be the highest growth of happiness in your life. Because of the fact that growth hurts, you're usually not in the happiest state when you're growing. All right. Now, happiness is a bonus once you begin to grow past the lesser versions of yourself in every single situation. Now that's when happiness starts to really show up for you in your relationship, because you know for a fact that you can go and grow past this. Natural hair, no matter the length, is the shit. Them toes got to be right too, though. A woman is the finest she'll ever be when she first wakes up in the morning, because that's where the real beauty is. Absolutely. So that means, now y'all know how I feel. You got to take care of your skin, take care of your feet, take care of your face. Stop beating it so much with makeup that when you take it off, you don't even look like the same person. He like, I was watching Ready to Love, and I was like, oh, this girl, her first date need to be at the pool, because at this point, I want to know what's underneath her skin. Not even her skin, her makeup. I want to know what's under there, because it's packed so much that, listen, you could catfish in real life at this point with the way makeup is made nowadays. All right. So, what a mirror means in a relationship is that there's usually something that you see in your mate. It's usually there to show you something. When you see something in your mate that you detest, the very first person that you're supposed to look at is yourself, not them. And nobody likes to hear that, because it takes the accountability off of them and puts it back on you. All right. So if it's something that showcases to us, it's something that we need to grow beyond. Look at ourselves, see why it triggers us, or even evaluate an area of ourselves that we may exhibit the exact same attribute but in a different way. I realized a lot of things about my husband and I is we are very much alike. Oh, we're so alike that sometimes I realize the very things in him that I'm complaining about, I have that same trait as well. Like, we have a very big habit of seeing things in others and not seeing the trait that we have it when we do it. I know my sister couldn't stand me, because when her and her husband going through a divorce, and she would always try to complain to me about my husband, and I was like, but what about when you did that? What about when you do it? She's like, no, it's not the same, because no. Because when I did that, it was because, yeah, right. It was a reason, and I'm sure he got a reason too. It doesn't matter. You can say, oh my God, he keeps letting me down. You might be right. But are there times that you let yourself down too? He doesn't keep commitments. Do you keep all your commitments? See, again, you can't point a finger at somebody without pointing four back at yourself. You did this. You did this. You did this. Whoa. What about the things that you do that they let go all the time? What about that? Do we ever think about that? Probably not. All right. So nobody wants to acknowledge this. Another thing about a mirror is it's always going to be magnified in somebody else. So the very same trait that I may exhibit that you're actually doing, it's going to be magnified to me when you do it, as opposed to when I do it. When I do it, it's small, it's little. What you mean? I only did it this one time. When you do it, it's magnificent. It's so big, I can't get over it. We all possess pretty much the same traits in different ways. We just exhibit them and we showcase them in different ways. So it's easier to point at somebody because I can see it in you. I just can't see it in me. And that's why we can't stand when we're talking to somebody and we say, well, because you didn't. They go, well, what about when you like, no, we're not talking about me right now. Right. Because everybody has the chance to point back at the other person all the time at any given moment. It takes strength and spiritual integrity to be able to sit there when somebody's saying something about you, knowing that you're like, you do the same thing, and just take it and allow that pruning and that growth to happen for you in that moment. Deal with them another day. Deal with that another time. All right. So let's just say this. Your partner mirrors that you might need to be more vocal. I know in my relationship, I needed to talk up. I need to speak up a little more. Your partner might mirror that you don't value yourself. Your partner might mirror that you're selfish and you only see it when they're selfish. You don't see it when you're being self-centered as well. Your partner might mirror that you need and seek outside attention and validation. See, women, ooh, y'all gotta stop. See, women will be out here and be mad at men seeking validation. Oh, you always liking such picture. You always in the inbox. You always this. Every time I turn around, you with another girl. Every time I turn around, you doing this, you doing that. But are you seeking outside validation by always posting your booty pics and always having your face in the camera and taking 30 shots of your night? And you got a whole man, but you always posting pictures of yourself? Y'all think for a second that men be like, look at my baby out here showing her ass to everybody. There's no man said that ever. No man that has a woman wants her showcasing herself to any and every other man. Like I said, it's one thing if we as women, we got businesses. Like I have businesses, but it's still very rare that you see my butt in the camera or my stomach or me just trying to showcase my body to show it. Go to Dermalift page if you want to see my body, but not Tanisha's page. Dermalift page is so that my clients know I'm a body sculptor. I'm a skincare technician. I'm an esthetician. My job is skin, nice skin. But you're not going to just see my body on my regular page all the time. But then we'll say, oh, you always seeing, you just want attention from these women. Anytime me and you go through something, you want attention. You want attention all the time too. Y'all the same. We never see it when it's in us too. Okay? So why are we leaving our mates and why are our mates leaving us? I'm so glad you asked. Okay. Why are we leaving? Let me give y'all a quick tip. Men usually do not become who they truly are as a man until they hit about 40 or close to it. In their late 30s, they start getting that itch that they need to be a little more mature. They need to start, elevating their game a little bit, elevating their life a little bit. But it all comes to fruition and starts to line up once they become around 40. Usually as a man, their frontal cortex is not even developed until they're about 27. So that means their deductive reasoning, their risk versus reward, their cognizance, and their functioning mentally and their decision making processes are not even fully developed yet. So if he's not even 30, girl, we can't even talk to you yet because you're going to go through a lot until he hits where his brain actually functions enough to have him make good decisions. Thank you. So listen, 40 years old. Okay, that's amount of time. By the time they're 40, their insatiable appetite for women starts to wean away. They start to prioritize different things. Family becomes of utmost importance. Building their legacy becomes a top priority for them. If they're a mature man, meaning that they kind of grew up good family, good household, good stock, this process usually starts at about 34 or 35 years old. Okay, so you don't gotta wait until exactly 40. Like, oh, Tanisha said 40. Girl, don't quote me. If they're mature, about 34, 35 is when they start to change for real. My mom used to always tell me that a man goes through something called change of life. She just made that name up, but it was kind of like a woman's menopause, like where they just get older and their mind and everything about their life, everything about everything shifts for them. Okay, but I also learned that it's a scientific fact. She just made that name up herself. Um, so usually the issues that you have with them as a young man are going to begin to fall away. And as they mature and begin to realize what's important, um, you'll start to see their evolution process. I have enough data to warrant this to be true, so trust me on this, okay? Most men grow up and soften up once they get older. The older they get, the softer they'll be with you, no matter how masculine they are in nature. All right? So again, what are the real reasons as a woman for why you're breaking up a man? Okay. So now here are some great reasons to break up with a man. If you're with a guy and you're like, not sure if I should go back, keep him around. He's disrespectful, lying, cheating, etc. All right. Now, women, gotta put a disclaimer. If your relationship is having problems, he's sleeping downstairs, you sleeping up, Da 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 da. Now all of a sudden you're like, he cheating. He don't come in at night. He sleep downstairs. Duh. But was he doing that the whole during the relationship, or did he start doing it when y'all start having problems? Because that's when the fix should have happened. I have somebody I was talking to the other day, and she told me she's on strike. Strike from what? Oh, I'm on strike. I'm not giving him nothing. He better use his hand. But I don't know. I feel like I want to go through his phone. I feel like he cheating. Sis, he is. No, I didn't say it like that because it's a client. So I was like, here's the thing. You're on strike. He's a man. What are you expecting for him to be doing while you're on strike? While you're in this relationship? What is he supposed to just hold out because you're saying no? Or he's supposed to just be so committed. Now they're not married. They've just been together for a long time, but he's supposed to just be so committed. No other temptation out here. And you're blatantly, openly stating that you're on strike from being intimate with your man. Girl, you might as well go pick the side chick out for him. Put her in a lineup. Because at this point, you might as well be involved. Because you're involved enough. Like, how we're really saying this stuff, talking to people out loud. And then you're going to be crying if you go through his phone and you do find out. What do you expect? Let me stop. All right. So one, he's disrespectful, lying, cheating, etc. If this is going on, you have every right to leave him and say, you know what, this is not something that I signed up for. It's not even something that I would desire to have in my life. I would just prefer that we go our separate ways. Okay. Two, he doesn't know how to lead. You can tell that early on too. Now, guys, I'm not talking about marriages. I'm talking about being together with somebody. A marriage, there's counseling, there's therapy, there's things you can go through because you've already made a commitment to this person. I don't really like the word or believe in divorce. I feel like everything can be worked out as long as two parties are willing to grow beyond the lesser versions of themselves. Inner work is the key to relationships building and working. That's it. He has no ambition. You meet the guy, and here's the thing: a man could go get a woman on fries, build her up, and she will be just as valuable to stand next to him. A woman can go get a man on fries, and he'll probably always be on fries because that's what it is. Men's jobs is to cultivate and elevate the woman that's next to him. He pours into her. It is not a woman's job to pour into the man and build him up and make him more than what he's supposed to be. We inspire them to be more, but we don't pour into them to be more. There's a difference. Okay. Not moving toward or aligning with any type of purpose. You want to have a man that has some type of alignment with purpose. Okay. You want him to have goals, dreams, visions, where he wants to lead you, where he wants to take this family. That's what you want to see from him. Okay. Unequally yoked. You guys are just different. He over here spiritually, you're over here spiritually. You're super spiritual, he don't believe in God. You're mad spiritual, he's an atheist. Spiritual, Christian, Buddhist, whatever. He likes sex 20 times a week, you like sex 2 times a week. Unequally yoked still. I know people don't look at things as superficial as that, but unequally yoked is unequally yoked. One person's mad smart, one person's dumber than a bag of nickels. Like, unequally yoked. You guys gotta both be equally intelligent, equally sexual, equally with the same amount of mental acuity. And if there's going to be an imbalance, the man should be smarter because he's the one that got to lead. It's okay with a man to get with somebody that's not as bright as him. It is not usually okay for a woman to get with a guy that's not as really bright as her, because then she's going to be leading everything all the time. One, women have a sense of entitlement. We're always going to feel like we're smarter than you, so we're always going to try to tell you what to do. We're always going to try to be like, no, what do you mean? That's not the best way. This is not the best way. I know it better. I know this better. I'm educated. I went here. I did this. I went here. A guy is never going to be happy in that construct ever. So if anything, he need to go get the girl off fries. She's not that bright. He put her through a little bit of school, get her a little bit up to his level, and then he can build with that. Okay? Not employed or not building something for himself. Now, some guys, they just get, caught up in some situations. They get caught up in some issues or whatever. But just like you meet a guy and you realize that he don't got no ambition. He's still talking about being a rapper. He's like 42. What? We, no, sir. Mm-mm. Here's the reasons that are not good reasons to break up with men. And I hear women break up with men for these reasons all the time. Okay. One, he isn't all over you all the time. I mean, I'm just saying he could be a little bit more on me. He could be more affectionate. He can. That will come with time. Once he learns you, learns the issues, you guys work past that, he can get past that. He can work on that. He doesn't like partying like you do. My husband can't stand going out. I don't mind going out. He can't stand going out. At this point, that's I'll just go without you. That's it. And I'll be home in a decent hour. It's not that deep. Okay. He isn't into doing girly things with you. A lot of women be like, I mean, I like to go to the museum and a ballet. What the heck does a man want to go to a museum and a ballet for? They go for sacrificial reasons for us. So don't torture that man trying to make him do all these girly things with you. Take your girlfriends to that. Leave him alone. Like, oh, I was thinking I want to go see the ballet. He like, okay, we can go. Now I told y'all my husband took me to ballet, Shin Yun. I know he didn't care about the little women. He did it for me. But I can't expect that to happen all the time. He ain't about to do that all the time. That's crazy. That's crazy. Me and my sister can go see that. Me and my cousins can go see that. I am not about to make that man go see every single play or ballet that I want to see. Like, come on. Um, he's serious or stern. Most men are. Men that are always like joking around and they don't have any sternness at all within them. Like most men have a good balance of both. Even though they're stern, they can joke around and stuff still. But if you have a guy that's all jokes, he's usually a clown. Like, what is there in this world to be joking about all the time where you don't got no seriousness? Like, how you gonna leave this family chuckling all the time? Like, we got kids to raise, we got businesses to run, we got things to do. And you just like, no. Now, if a man is serious or stern, that means he has good leadership abilities. All he has to do is work himself into e- evolving his personality a little bit, coming out of his shell a little bit. Once again, my husband's like that. He's he again. Every environment has to be safe. Every environment has to be controlled. If it's controlled, he's laughing, he's joking, he's light. If the environment's not controlled, he's not. Don't be upset as a woman if you get a man that's stern or seems to be more serious, because that's going to be an amazing husband. All right. I know me and my sister talk about this all the time because my husband is stern. He's serious. He's stern, but he jokes around a lot. Her husband jokes around a lot, but there's times he can be stern and she just don't like that. He'd be like, no, because, and she's like, and we have to literally, that's what your girlfriend should be for, accountability. Letting you know, like, hey, this man, this is good that he's doing that. He's going to be an amazing leader for your household. Breaking up with a man because he doesn't want you or allow you to be all over the place. Like, oh, he just be trying to control me. He just be wanting me to be in the house at a certain time. Yeah, he's the protector. If you can't get with that program, then, but that's not a smart reason to break up with a man. See, in our society, we've taken everything as a negative that men do. When in reality, they have reasons for why they're doing it. We just don't understand that. A man that doesn't want you out all hours of the night. We always say, like I said, we always think a man is trying to control us. When he's like, well, what time you getting in? Or where are you going? I got you. You're not my father. You don't got to be asking me. Provider, protector. That's what that means. Those are the traits we should actually be looking for as opposed to breaking up with them for. Because these are the things you're not going to like now, okay? But eventually, as he ages, these things are going to soften. And then you will have lost an amazing man because of wanting things that he wasn't able to necessarily offer you at that time. A lot of women make the mistake of losing good men because they can't adjust to what a man truly is and what he needs to be for you. As a woman, we are the adjusters. We have to adjust. We're going under a construct, we're going under leadership. I work at a corporation. Why is it okay for me to go under the leadership of my job and my boss, but then I want to give my husband a hard time to go under his leadership? That doesn't make any sense. If anybody, he has more of an invested interest in what happens to me and our kids and our family than my boss does, as much as she loves me. She has more of an invested interest in herself than she does to me. I could go up under that construct, follow the rules, act right, do what I need to do what I need to say for a certain amount of hours. But then when it comes to your husband, you don't want to go up under that one? What are you fighting it for? Now, I understand there's some men out here that don't know how to lead and they take advantage of women when they do lead, but those are not men. Those are big grown boys. And you got to discern the two. I made it a thing now. My fidelity is as conditional as your cooperation. Oh, that's a hard one. Nobody don't want to hear that. Because, hey, another thing me and my husband talked about, relationships can be contractual. You cooperate, you get fidelity. Period. I will never look at another woman another day in my life. The day you stop cooperating is the day she starts to look good to me. Hey, now that's not what he said to me. That was just something I thought of just now. Like, hey, contractual. You give this, I get this. But sometimes women and men, again, we feel like we're just supposed to come in and get these things. I'm just supposed to get fidelity. No, you earn fidelity. Men have the capacity to be with more than one woman. You have to earn the fact that he only wants to be with you. Women have the ability to have a crazy mouth, walk up one side of you and down the other. You have to earn the fact that you want my mouth to respect you. Be a leader I want to respect. I don't talk to my boss like that. There's a certain level of respect. So either I got a certain level of respect at home, and why would I respect one over the other? So see, again, give and take goes both ways. Okay. So when a man breaks up with a woman, let's talk about that. It's usually because of the same things universally. Most men, when they break up with women, see, women break up with men for a lot of small, intricate reasons because women are complicated beings. We really are. That's just how we work. We're wired so differently. Like, if men are like waffles and they're like square cut with squares in the middle, you can see everything we're supposed to be. Women are like spaghetti. We're all entangled up. You don't know which one started and which one ended. That's how we are. Okay. But when a man breaks up with a woman, it's usually because of the same things universally. Okay. So too controlling, always bossing him the hell around. Men can't stand that. You don't listen. He tell you, listen, hey, here's the thing. I don't like you going to this certain event. I don't like you going to a certain place. You go anyway. He don't get to tell me what to do. I do what I want to do. He tell you, listen, I don't like you posting those pictures on social media. You like, well, this is my social media, so you be doing this that I don't like. So don't take accountability when you're wrong. Men cannot stand women who cannot take accountability when they're wrong. And unfortunately, like I said before, accountability is a masculine trait, but it is one we should take on, but it is masculine because the responsibility and accountability does fall on a man. It's not natural to a woman. So we have to cultivate that part of ourselves to be able to take accountability because women are usually reactors and responders. We're usually not initiators. So usually when a man does something and he says, "Yo, what you mean you did this?" We're always going to respond with why we did it, as opposed to apologizing for the fact that we did do it. Okay. Uncooperative. You just combat everything he say. He say up, you say down. He say left, you say right. You driving, he why you ain't take a left? He like, listen, I need you to do A, B, C, and D for me. And you're like, well, I can't do that because an uncooperative person is unattractive even in business. People need to develop cooperativeness. Untamable, meaning like men do not like when their girlfriend is the court jester. Like, we're out. See, what we as women don't understand is status as men comes based on the women that they have on their arm. If you come into the building and you're an embarrassment to him, you're ghetto, you're talking too much, you're over talking the men at the table, you're wilding, you're twerking in the middle of the dance floor, everybody's like you're a spectacle. That's embarrassing to him. He doesn't think it's cute. He's not looking at you like, look at my baby out there getting all that attention. Men usually are not looking at you like that. They're embarrassed. That's not what they're really looking for. And then when he tells you, listen, you tone it down a little bit, you like, what you mean? I'm just being myself. Like, ain't nobody gonna change me. Untamable. He go to tell you, hey, chill a little bit. You know, got my people here. Got the, and you like, I'm gonna do what I want to do. You for the streets. You always want to be outside. Most men do not always want their girl outside. Whatever outside means to you. Um, Embarrassing, or your priorities are off. He's trying to build with you. He's trying to build a family with you. And he sees that every 2 seconds you got a package from Amazon and you don't budget because your car getting repossessed, but the package from Amazon is showing up at the same time. You clearly don't have your priorities straight. And as a man, that would be taking on a liability as opposed to an asset. So if your priorities are off, most men don't want to deal with that while they're dating, and they don't have enough patience to try to train you for it. So they'll just leave you and get with somebody that does have that. See, again, when my husband and I were talking, he was saying men are not as picky as women. We all pretty much want the same thing. We want cooperativeness, we want collaborativeness, we want submission, we want respect, we want love, and don't embarrass us. Don't be out here wilding. Pretty much that's all we want. But women can't even do that nowadays. It's just something that it's hard to offer, you know? So breakups aren't uncommon because people usually break up for superficial reasons. But once people grow past that version of themselves, they recognize that the reason they broke up wasn't necessarily valid in the first place. So our flesh and our ego versions of ourselves are here for our protection, always. They're not necessarily bad. They just have to be balanced, and you have to recognize when you're walking in that as opposed to not walking in that. Um, it's here for our protection. It's here for our superficial desires. But our spirits know whether this person was good for us or not. And when we break up for superficial reasons, especially as women, but at the same time, as women, we'll also get back with a man based on superficial reasons as well. So we'll break up with men for superficial reasons, but then we'll get back with them for superficial reasons. So men usually don't get back with women for superficial reasons unless they need a place to stay. That's different. But they usually want to see some level of growth in the areas that they spoke to you about before y'all broke up. Women will get back with a man just because she wants masculine energy around her and she wants to feel loved and coddled and secure again. So we'll get back with them thinking like, oh, he's so blazing, and or you need to have some intimacy, something like that. You'll just have the guy back around. And the reason is not like if he wasn't respecting you when you broke up with him, What is the difference now for you to get back with him? What changes has that man made to make you say, okay, let's work this out this time? He's supposed to show you something different. Now, the way that you give him room to show you something different, it looks different for everybody. But if a guy was lying, cheating, disrespecting you, and then he just come back around and now you just get back with him for what? Why? That's why it took my husband and I so long to get back together, because I got to see what you're doing. I got to see that you mean what you said you're going to do. I'm not going to just get back based on your word. I got to see something now too. Because the same way that you broke the trust or you broke this, you got to earn that back. The only reason that I kept going back to my husband, just to put that out there, because everybody else was like, oh, she took him back. We broke up 3 times, y'all. Okay. Is because every single time I saw evolution in him. I saw growth in him as a person in general, not as my man. Like I saw growth in his thought processes. Not like he shifted just to be back with me. Because there was a time where I felt like that. Like I felt like the shift was just to get back with me, and I didn't trust that, and it didn't feel authentic. It felt disingenuous, and I didn't get back with him. It wasn't until I saw his evolution as a man, outside of me, outside of other women, outside of our kids, his thought process, what he talked about, what he was reading, the books in his Audible, what he was listening to at night, the things he desired to do, how he was handling his life. That is a man that I can get with. That is a man that I could be next to. That's why. One of my friends told me, she said, I never judged you and him when y'all was getting back together. She said, because every time your relationship was different. It always grew. It was never the same relationship from before. And that's all I needed to hear, because the craziest thing about it is getting back with somebody and then dealing with the same stuff you was dealing with when y'all broke up. That stuff was supposed to be worked on before y'all got back together. All right? So, as a woman, you got to go with how it feels. Because that's how we move. Like, does this feel right? Because if it feels right, I should go with it. But if it doesn't feel right and you're just kind of going through the motions, don't do it. Don't do it. Ask yourself, why do you want to go back? Why do you want to reconnect? If y'all broke up, there was a reason y'all broke up. There was something he wasn't offering you. There was something he wasn't doing. There was something that caused the breakup. Why do you want to go back? Because he's cute? Because he got good sex? Like what? Because it can't only be that. It got to be something more than that. Like that's where it actually starts to get toxic, when you're getting back together with no real work done, no real healing done, no real shifting, no real evolution in either party. You're just breaking up, arguing, and then reconnecting. Good luck with it working out. Where is the work? Show me what you've been doing that says we're going to be successful this time. I'm a businesswoman. Life is like business. It's basic math. Like, show me why I would reinvest in this. Show me the numbers. Show me the pros and the cons of getting back in this. You're not supposed to just, as a woman or a man, just, but see, here's the thing. Men, they usually look at the numbers. They're like, okay, old girl, still got a little slick mouth on her. Okay. And men will put you through like little tests. They will manufacture tests to see how you're going to react and respond versus how you used to react and respond before. And then they'll evaluate that. But us, we just, oh, my man want me back, so he probably changed his time. How? What has he been doing? What conversations have you guys had? Who's going to start first? All right? So it's okay to work through things and get back together. It's okay to grow as humans and realize the errors and the things that went wrong, fix them and reconnect. It's okay to realize that you still love someone and want to reignite the relationship, but only if you've worked on the issues that caused the relationship's demise in the first place, and only if they haven't moved on completely with somebody else and a super committed relationship. And if they've gotten married, let go of them completely. Start all over somewhere else. Okay? Because that's not the dharma that you want to come back for you at all either. All right? Lastly, it has to be love. It has to be more than love that reconnects you, because honestly, in a relationship that's fully and functional, love is usually not enough. I know everybody like banks on love and they're all like, love, love, love. Like, hell no. Love doesn't do anything. There's a lot of people out here that love each other, but they don't work in relationships. It's a great starting point, but love is not the glue that makes relationships work or keeps them together. Love is amazing, but it's the constant work on oneself and the relationship, constantly growing as a person, realizing that you are both changing daily. You are not with the same person that you were when you met. I met my husband in 2007. I'm not that girl. He's not that guy. People are constantly growing, changing, evolving. Even our cells at a cellular matrix level in our body are changing all the time, daily. Nobody's the same person the next day that they were the night before. So if people are always constantly and growing and changing, if you don't grow together, you will look up and have grown apart. That's how it works. It's inevitable. You have to pay attention. It's almost like having a newborn baby. You know how they change every day? And if you can literally go, if you have a newborn baby and the husband goes away out of town for a week, he'll come back and it's a totally different baby because the growth process is accelerated in newborns. Same thing with people, but it's just different because it's mentally, emotionally, and spiritually that people are changing and growing every day. And if you turn your head for too long and just think, oh, I know them, I know them, I know them, you're going to turn around and you're going to be a totally different person. That's how it works. So if two parties aren't growing together, you're automatically growing apart. So the work is reciprocity in relationships at all times. The work is aligning yourself together at all times, spiritually, mentally, sexually. If you're realizing, hey, I'm getting older. You know, the wife says, hey, not really into sex. Like, girl, you better do something about it. Go get you some pink pill. Go to the doctor. Do something. If his drive is super high, you got to meet him where he's at. If his is lower and you're the wife that's like, what are you doing? I thought, because a lot of times men are older than women, and his is lower, that is a conversation y'all need to have so that you can realign and reconnect back to at least an area where it's close and not like this. Because when it gets like this, somebody's unhappy, whether it's mentally, spiritually, we this far, emotionally, somebody's going to be unhappy. All right. The work is in coming up with common ground, service to one another, compromise with one another, sacrificing both parties, not just one. These are all the variables that create a cocktail for an amazing relationship. But again, most people just want their relationship to work because they showed up. They cute. My relationship's supposed to work because I'm attracted to you. None of that plays any part as to whether your relationship is going to be successful or not, honestly. Good looks and attraction can only go but so far, people. That's it. It'll go a little bit, maybe intimately. That's it. You guys as a unit have to be equally yoked. And I know a lot of people, when they hear that, they think Bible. Like, oh, equally yoked. We got to be going to the same church. It does not mean that. It means visions, goals, dreams aligned. Sexual goals, mental goals, emotional goals, spiritual goals. aligned. How we like to live, where we like to live, the type of people we are, aligned. I'm so grateful that I am in metaphysics. And the moment I thought about it, my husband was like, "Oh, that's what we doing," because he had been already looking into it, and I never even knew it. That's how we became it. He brings things to me. I'm like, "Oh, I was thinking the same thing." That's why we should equally yoked spiritually. So again, people, I'm not gonna hold y'all tonight. It's one. I've been up here for over an hour, so I don't want to hold you, but just understand this. It is okay to get back together with someone that you love and it didn't work out at first. Because as long as the person is aware enough, evolved enough to understand what went wrong, it is so easy to fix. Any relationship, to me, in my opinion, on the face of this earth, if two people are willing to work at it, it will work. Do not be embarrassed. Do not be prideful about your reconnection. I've never been embarrassed about my husband and I reconnecting. Like, I could have been at the first time we broke up, that second time we broke up where it was all those years in between. I was very apprehensive about telling anybody that we were even thinking about reconnecting because I didn't want to feel embarrassed. And after a while, I was like, I don't give a damn about these people. Nobody cares about your life more than you do. Everybody in this world think everybody care about what's going on with them, and in reality, everybody got their own problems. So nobody's really thinking about you. So if you love somebody, you want to reconnect, just make sure you do the work to allow for the reconnection. Do not just get back with somebody because you love them or because you're attracted to them. That, my friend, is when it becomes toxic. All right. So, with that being said, I love y'all. Like the video, share the video. If you think that this video will help somebody, please make sure you share it, tag it, copy the link. More than welcome to clip a portion of the video, post it on your page if you want. I don't mind any of that. Okay. If I get smoke, it's okay. But with that, guys, I love you, and stay tuned for my next one, which will probably be next week. Bye.